Undirected team. How's it going, y'all? I am Dotsale, the undirected guy. Team, we got to discuss. We got a lot to talk about today. And we're just going to start it out by talking about relationships. And this will be loosely based on relationships because I think that it is important in this situation. And the reason why is because the people that we put closest to us are very important, not only for our confidence, but also for us to remember that we have a support system in the face of adversity. That's a lot of reason that we have spouses and people that we have next to us that we trust with everything, because we look at them and they should look at us the same way that they look at themselves. So, for instance, to go along with this story, if you're ever accused of something and you know that you're being falsely accused, well, your partner or your spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, friend, they should take your side and believe you the same way you believe in yourself. If not, then you're just two separate people that know each other. They're basically strangers to you. That's what separates the differences between just an associate or a person that you know rather than someone that you are close to and hold high regard for. It's the reason why you can see a mother and wonder, and let's say her son commits a burglary or a robbery or, God forbid, murder. And the mother still supports the son even knowing that he's dead wrong. Well, that's because her attachment and her closeness to her son is going to supersede anything. Now, most of the time, you'll be able to understand the person that you're next to as well. So you'll know if this person is capable of something like that. Although people can be deceitful, most of the time, if you have a nuisance of a person around you, you're pretty much not surprised when something crazy happens involving that person. I have people in my life that if they were to get caught for, let's say, armed robbery, I wouldn't be very surprised. And I have people in my life that if they were to get a Nobel Peace Prize, I wouldn't be surprised at that either, because I understand their character, because they are or have been close to me. Now, in this situation, I want to talk about this story, and we're going to actually read through it. So let's get to it now. We got it here. We got it right here. This story is very strange, and you've seen the thumbnail and you read the title, so you have an idea of what's going to happen here. We don't have any video for this, so I am going to read through it, and y'all get a chance for me to read to you. I know y'all like that. I know y'all like when I read to you. This is going to come from the Daily Mail. Let's see if we can get who wrote it. It was written by Kelsey Wilkie. And this is going to come from Australia. Okay, we're going to look at the bullet points first and we'll read the title. She wanted vengeance. Woman, 20, who falsely accused a Good Samaritan, 36, of sexual assault, costing him his marriage, is jailed for 5 months. So, the woman that accused a Good Samaritan, who wasn't good at the time when they arrested him, and took her word over his, she gets jailed for 5 months for what she did. So this is at the conclusion of the story. So we get to know everything that happened, or how it ended up, but we'll also get to see what happened leading up to it. So let's go through these bullet points real quick. Keenan Basic, that's his name. They're not calling Keenan Basic. Keenan Basic is his name. First name Keenan, last name Basic. All right, you get it. Stopped to help a 19-year-old woman at the time, 20 when she went to prison or jail, with her car at a service station. Woman had a broken down car, and Mr. Basic spent 2 hours helping her fix it. They hugged, and he followed her a short distance to make sure she was all right. Days later, the woman claimed Mr. Basic stalked her and indecently assaulted her. Indecently. Mr. Basic spent 2 weeks in prison, lost his job, and is going through a divorce.
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
All charges were dropped against him after Caitlin Gray admitted the lying. Caitlin Gray is the one over here in the corner. All right, let's get into the story, team. This one is going to be interesting. All right. A woman falsely accused a Good Samaritan of groping her and asking her to give him oral sex after he helped fix her car, causing his wife to leave him, has been jailed for just 5 months. There's no justice out here. 5 months for saying that a man groped you, asked to give oral sex, and basically stalked you. You know, I'm trying to figure out what he would have got had he been convicted. I'm thinking it would have been a lot more than 5 months. And he probably would have had to register as a sex offender and all kind of other stuff. But that was the outcome. Let's get into the story and see what happened. I actually want to know a little bit more. I'm very curious about the dynamics with the wife. That's why I started off the monologue like that. But I'm also concerned with the justice system and the woman at hand that became the suspect. And then also, I mean, Mr. Basic, he gotta come to the front of the front of the crowd and explain himself on how he let himself get put in this position, because I'm all for being decent and being helpful, but you know, sometimes you have to make a business decision, and I don't think he made that decision the correct way, and that's why he ended up in all this drama. But there's an underlying great positive in this. And we're going to explain that shortly. Caitlin Gray, 20, lied to police when she claimed that she was stalked, harassed, and sexually assaulted by Mr. Keenan Basic in Banktown, Sydney in November of the 2018s. The married father of one vehemently denied the allegations, but spent a week inside Silverwater Jail in Sydney's West before Gray confessed she made it up. Mr. Basic, a father of one, also lost his job and was served divorce papers by his wife because of Gray's lies. Magistrate Glenn Wash berated Gray for her consistent lies, which put an innocent man behind bars. She wanted vengeance due to what she perceived of Basic's behavior, Mr. Walsh said. This was not an error in judgment. She achieved her end of having him incarcerated. Now, this is the woman at hand. We also got another look at her right here now. I don't know how this woman right here, I mean, we're going to blow this up real quick. Can we blow it up? How is this woman 20 years old? How?
What do you mean?
She looks like she's at least pushing 44. That's what I mean.
Come on, man.
I don't understand how you can age 20 years in 10 years. Because I got to imagine when she was 10 years old, she didn't look anything like this. So how does she go from a 10-year-old girl to looking like a 40-year-old woman within 10 years? Y'all got to help me out with that. They say that certain races age differently, and I think that's true. However, this is something that we're going to have some study for. Let's see if we got any other pictures. Okay, these are the two. She laid down looking like a beach whale. And we got Mr. Basic not looking much better himself. However, 16 years older at the time, helping her fix her broken down, it looks like a 1992 Corolla. I don't know what kind of vehicle is that? They're in Australia. Let's see what else we got. Not surprised their car is broken down. You got Basic there. You got Basic there. And okay, that's that for that. Let's get back to the story. Where are we at? We're just looking at the picture. Okay. Gray appeared in Bankstown local court on Friday, where she was sentenced to 9 months behind bars with a non-parole period of 5 months. So it was actually a 9-month sentence, but they gave her parole immediately when she was up and due for it. Wow. That's pretty incredible, I must say. On November 2018, Gray pulled up to BP's service station in Bankstown after she had a minor car accident. Mr. Basic saw that Gray's car broken down and offered to help her, spending 2 hours getting the vehicle back on the road. Gray claimed that after helping her repair the car, Mr. Basic lunged at her, grabbed her breast and vagina, and demanded a hug and oral sex as she owed him for his assistance. Okay. He might have actually felt like she did owe him something, but I mean, that's a little crazy, right? She claimed Mr. Basic then stalked her as she left BP and drove through Western Sydney.
Got a little attitude there. Is that it? Are you just so old and ugly that you can't hear anymore?
Gray claimed her car then overheated, and when she got out to open the bonnet. Is that how you say hood in Australia? Mr. Basic walked up to the driver's side window and tapped on it before asking, come on, let's go. What have I done wrong? Gray claimed Mr. Basic then groped her and tried to get into the car. She told police that she drove away before calling her boyfriend, who then called 000, which is 911 in Australia. Hold up.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that this woman has a boyfriend, but instead, Mr. Basic had to help this woman out for over 2 hours. So let's say Basic, whatever. Cool, he's helping out. The woman should have been on the phone with her boyfriend. Hey, car broke down. This is my situation. Random good Samaritans help me out right now. Boyfriend should have been like, oh, don't worry, I'm on my way. I'll get it fixed. I'm not going to let no other man fix my girlfriend's car or fix anything else on her. She calls him after the fact that she got her car fixed after using Mr. Basic up for all of his labor. She signed a statement claiming that she had been sexually assaulted by Mr. Basic and he was arrested the next day. So my problem is this, and this is the actual definition of crying wolf, right? And it hurts all women when this happens. And my problem with the whole situation is that you should not be able to arrest anybody without any evidence. I would go, possibly you can detain them without evidence. Possibly. And I don't even think that is okay. But just because somebody says something happened, when we know that humans are liars and evil, all humans, yes, you are very capable of being evil, and you've absolutely lied more than once in your life. So that's okay. We just got to make decisions on when and when not to do it. Now, the good in us, we can control this and we understand that it's a possibility. Now, some people, they don't even understand that they're evil. They don't even understand that they're lying. It comes second nature to them. If you do something evil or you lie, it should at least do something to you. It should affect you. Now, for this woman, it didn't affect her at all. She lied on Mr. Gray and watched him as he was marched into a jail facility and arrested. And for her to not feel anything and to confess up immediately, and probably only do it after she was pressed and the evidence didn't really add up against Mr. Basic to the point where she confessed. That's why she got such a light sentence. Well, part of it is because she ended up taking a plea and just telling the truth, which is all they wanted out of her at that point. But at first, as he was going into prison, she had nothing to say. She allowed this to happen. This is crazy. Mr. Basic told police that he had helped Gray fix her car before following her to make sure she didn't have another breakdown. Again, at minimum, why didn't her boyfriend at least do that? Let's say your boyfriend's not mechanic savvy, right? That's fine. But the least he could have did was came and accompanied you and Mr. Basic during the process of fixing your car. And then on top of that, maybe at least followed you back afterwards to make sure nothing happened to you. I'm not even so sure this woman has a boyfriend, honestly. And also, what the hell's up with Mr. Basic? Why didn't he call his wife and tell her what was going on? And why didn't the wife possibly have anything to say about it? Like, yo, like, you're just randomly fixing another woman's car? Honey, I've been asking you to give me an oil change on my 1999 Subaru Outback for the last 6 months. And now I got a misfire in cylinder 3. You ain't helped me fix my car at all. And you just out here helping random beached whales fix their car? It's because she's 20, ain't it? It's because she's 20, ain't it? If I was 20, you would help me fix my car. I'm acting as Mrs. Basic right now. He was arrested, charged with indecency, inciting someone to commit an act of indecency, and stalking. Wow, that sucks. 5 days later, police tried and failed to find CCTV footage of the incident on Milperia Road, somewhere in Liverpool, where Gray claimed Mr. Basic groped her. So the only reason that this guy got off is because this woman was too stupid.
Stop.
I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. She made the claim that it happened basically in a place where it was within view of cameras. Now, has she lied and said, hey, this happened in a dark alley? Basic probably would have got annihilated. So she only actually confessed because the evidence was overwhelming and they applied pressure to her. And she still doesn't care. She doesn't care. Police called Gray and asked if he had been grabbed on the breast and vagina by Mr. Basic. Yes, I have no reason to lie.
Oh my god, I fucking hate myself right now. Oh my gosh. Shut up.
That's what she told the cops. As she said, she has no reason to lie. The next day, Gray admitted to her deceit when questioned by police.
FBI, open up!
Police came over there. They said, yo, we're going to have to figure out what's going on for real, for real. And she said, you know what? I lied. I absolutely lied. I'm not
Bye-bye.
really at a place where I feel bad about it, but because the evidence is overwhelming against me, I'm going to admit to it and try to make my punishment be the lessest it could be in this situation. And that's the only reason I'm telling the truth. Gray said she had lied because she wanted Mr. Basic to go to prison. What? And that he said something disgusting to her. I didn't know what to do. Hold on, how do we get her? I didn't know what to do. I would have eventually come clean because I would have had a guilty conscience, she said. That's probably how she sounds for real. She probably sounds like a man pretending to be a woman when she speaks. I can only imagine. Gray's lawyers are expected to lodge an appeal to get her out of prison on bail. Jesus Christ. She got lawyers? Get out of how does she you got to mean public defense. I don't know how the justice system works over there in Australia, but you got to imagine if she's driving this car. Where's her car at again? Do we got her car? She's driving this right here. It broke down, which it looks like it does often. It's probably how she lures men in. Drive this raggedy car, break down, get a man come in there. And why the hell is that pole over in the corner look like a damn cigarette? What is going on over here in the left corner by this AC? Closest to me right there. Why does it look like a damn Newport stuck in the ground? I don't know. So, let's put that back there. Lock that. So, her lawyers are saying that they're going to try to get her out of prison on bail? What? If I was a public defender, I'd be like, bruh, never. You need the full sentence. They're hoping Gray will be able to serve her sentence under an intensive corrections order rather than being behind bars. Yeah. Yeah. When is it okay that we protect people that are evil? Like, there's no reason this woman should have the opportunity to have anything special happen for her. Like, nothing. Everything she did was absolutely unequivocally, I'm not even going to try to say that again. You know what I'm trying to say. Egregious. So here's the timelines, and we'll read the timelines, and then we're going to go into undirected perspective, and we'll finish up. Caitlin Gray pulled into the BP service station after she had a minor car accident, November 22nd. Keenan Basic spends 2 hours helping her repair the damage. Keenan Basic is accused of, the same day, Keenan Basic is accused of indecently assaulting a 19-year-old. He appears in court where he denies the allegations. Bail is denied. I just did a story where an Asian crime ring, should be right around the time of this story, got out of there on a cashless bail, and they had overwhelming evidence against them and a long paper trail. Basic just had some random 19-year-old that looks like she's 45 accuse him of SA, and he doesn't get bail. This is insane. November 29th, Gray admits to lying about the incident only a week later. So Basic was in jail for a full week, not knowing what his future would hold. And through this time, he lost his entire family. Now, we're going to talk about that. I don't necessarily think it's a loss. However, we'll discuss it in a little bit. Let's finish up with the timelines. So he gets released. And then it's about 8 months later. No, a little less than that. About 6 months later, Gray pleads guilty to knowingly making a false or misleading statement. And then a little bit after that, a couple months after that, she is sentenced to 9 months behind bars with a non-parole period of 5 months. So she's guaranteed to do 5 months in jail, although her lawyer's trying to get her to not do any time in jail. And that's what we got. think that should be the end of the story. There's some things we got to discuss. Let's see. We're going to go to undirected perspective, but I think on this one, we are going to go dark. We got to go dark on this one, team. And the reason why is because there's nothing good that happened in this situation. Absolutely nothing. Things that we got to talk about. Mr. Basic's wife. I'm thinking about this and I'm wondering why. I'm wondering why a woman would take, I guess a wife, we'll call her, would take the side of a random woman that made allegations against her husband. Was she mad because her husband helped her? I'm trying to come up with a reason. There's no reason for it, but there's always a reason for it. She mad that he helped her fix her car and thought that he was dumb for doing that and she's making him pay for it? Does she actually believe that he's capable of these things? And we don't know. And I wish we had the actual news. If anybody has this information, please put it in the comment. I would actually do a follow-up video to this and see if they ended up getting back together. Because remember, they were married and also had a young child. But I want to say this, team. I want to say this. This is actually a blessing for him. It's actually a blessing. And the reason why is because he was with a woman that, had he gotten to a situation that he couldn't have gotten out of, she would have did the worst to him. This exposed his wife and the accuser to show that women are capable of doing the most evil things, but oftentimes they'll do things that are more evil mentally, but a lot of us will say, well, you know, a woman can't beat a man up. A woman can't inflict pain on a man. So she should be at a position of, she should be believed because she's the weaker of the species. She's the weaker of humans. And what did they tell you? You remember this thing right here, about this right here? What did they say about this? The pen is mightier than the sword. See, the one thing that women have in modern society is the backing of the federal government. And whenever something goes wrong, she can always just call the cops. The cops will then come and assist her and carry out any physical needs that she has to retaliate against a man or attack him, and use that. So really, you could possibly say that the woman has more power than the man at this point in America, or Australia in this case, because they have a whole army behind them, a whole police force that a man can't utilize in the same way. Now, you might say, well, he lost his daughter. I think he had a daughter. Was it a daughter or was it I don't remember what it was. Did they say? Hold on, let me see. I'm looking real quick to see if he's got a daughter or a son. I don't see it. Oh, they just say a father and one. So I guess boy or girl doesn't matter. it's said that the woman is to teach the kid, because a lot of times when you look at the dynamics, if they're to be somewhat traditional, the man will be out working most of the time and the woman will be there raising the kid. So in this situation, his kid is probably already lost, honestly. And the reason why is because the mother has most parental supervision over the child. And if she's willing to turn her back on her husband over something like this, then she's absolutely raising the kid to have hatred towards his or her father. And at this point, you can't have the wife anymore. Now, I would say this. If Basic in this situation could get his kid and get custody of his kid, he should absolutely do that. But if that kid's to spend the majority of time with the mom, it's already over for the kid. The mom needs to be singing praise of the other parent. And when you sit there and you have a woman that is constantly trying to disrespect you and hurt you, and then she wants to actually carry that over into your offspring, well, you're in a bad situation. So in this case, losing the whole entire family probably wouldn't be the worst case for Mr. Basic, although, and I wonder too, because you think about guys like, we have kids, like our part in it is like possibly quick. Like the woman, she incubates the baby and all of that for the, 9 months or whatever. But all we have to do is just basically like, to get her pregnant. It makes me think about it from a standpoint of how much do we need to be invested in a kid's life up to a point, like after the kid's born. Because now this is if you stay with the wife. Now, Mr. Basic, a very good guy. He most likely stayed with his wife throughout the entire pregnancy. And I can only imagine someone like this is probably going to be quite abusive towards a guy like Basic. And that's why she was so quick to judge him and leave him when he was at his worst. And then what happened with his job? Why did his job end up firing him too? Like, this just all bad for this guy. It's just absolutely all bad. So yeah, I think the wife should have been thrown in jail too for not taking her husband's side. And the kid should be taken away from the wife and given to Basic, assuming that he wants to take custody and full ownership of the kid. And the lying woman and the wife, they should get together. And they should be best friends or be in a relationship and leave everybody else out of what you got going on. Team, this is all just very, very strange. I don't really understand how we get to these points in the first place, but I'm going to leave it with some comments for Mr. Basic. Mr. Basic, at some point, you have to be able to read the room. I know for a fact, we're going to go back to it real quick. Hold on, we got it right here. Let me go back real quick. I just want y'all to get the visuals one more time. And I know a lot of people will say, well, it doesn't matter how somebody looks. It does. It absolutely does. I'm going to be honest with you. If you see me walking down the street in 90-degree weather with a Pooh Shiesty mask on, black gloves, wearing all black, and black boots, and a samurai sword behind my back, and an AR-15, and a tactical vest on over all of it, and you see me walking down the street, well, I would just tell you that my appearance and my look is something that you might want to be concerned with, and you might want to get far away from me, because there's a good chance I'm on a mission. Now, you might say, well, but what if you're not? Well, nothing points to me not in a position ready to go to war and tear something up at that point. So for you to just totally dismiss me as a threat would be completely insane. Now, on the contrast, if you see me walking around and I got some suits, I got some ties, I got some dress shoes, I got some, the little pocket, napkin pocket thing. I forgot what they're called. You know what I'm talking about. I can throw those in, little color scheme. And you see me walking down the street looking like a businessman with some jewelry on and, maybe got my Bose Quiet Comforts on and I'm just walking around and, you probably take me as less of a threat and you would think that I'm probably more approachable. And what I'm saying is that when you look at this person right here, you can look at her and tell that she's bad news. Under no circumstances would I have more than a 5 to 10 second conversation with her, and that's only if she initiated it first, and that's just out of politeness to see exactly what's going on, but there wouldn't be much after that. If her car was to break down, well, it's very unlikely that I would help her just because of the way that she looks. And you might say, well, she just looks like a normal woman to me. No. That's not true. Now you got to be able to look at the clues. And the clues point to this woman being very, very undisciplined, first off. You can tell it by the way that she looks that she's undisciplined. And when you see somebody that lacks discipline and lacks care and concern for themselves, well, it's only obvious that they will lack care and concern for you.
I think I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect.
And with that, he could have prevented himself from even being in the situation. But again, I'm going to give grace to him because he's the victim in this situation 100%. Even though that he didn't make the best decisions, he ended up with the best outcome possible by not only clearing his name, only luckily because she was dumb enough to say that what happened in the clear view of cameras, but also he got away from his evil woman as a wife. So everything worked out for Basic in the long run, and I'm pretty sure he's doing much better now than he was before this. I would have to imagine. Other than he's probably paying out of his mind in child support right now, and possibly like alimony, spouse support, and all that other type of stuff because of the divorce. And I guess technically when she filed for divorce, her claims were legit because she filed for divorce when he was in prison for SA and stalking. Even though he got cleared of those charges, when she actually filed for it, they were legit. So technically, the courts could side with her and give her pretty much everything that she wants within a divorce decree. So yeah, he might be hurting a little bit from that standpoint, but the money doesn't matter as much. Having terrible people in your life is always going to be the worst decision that you could ever make under every circumstance. I am out of here. I am maildotsale, the undirected guy, and I appreciate y'all team. Y'all are the best. What do y'all think about this? As a whole, what do y'all think about my comments? I mean, I don't necessarily think the same way as everyone else. So if you got any disagreements, feel free to let me know. We can discuss it. I'm out of here. Remind me not to talk to no women over in Australia, by the way. At least not if they look like her.